Hello, everybody. My name is Tatiana Anderson, and I'm a home care worker in Madison, Wisconsin. I want to let y'all know that I'm so happy to be out to stand in solidarity with y'all. It's just so amazing. I started speaking about a year ago in the same exact city of D-Town, Detroit, you know. And I was invited to an AFRAM conference, and I was told it was going to be a cultural experience, and I also heard that I'll find out a lot about unions and ways that I can contribute to my unions. Along the way, I started to question, who is the president of SEIU? So I took this to my organizers, and they straight up told me, the lady, her name is Miss Mary Kay Henry, and she has juice. I'm like, what? But what that meant was, she has the privilege of taking flights with President Barack Obama. They also told me she was a very tenacious woman and that she was also a humanistic figure and also an incredible leader. At this point, I was so intrigued and ready to meet her. I did end up meeting her, and after she was done speaking, I rushed through the crowd of security she had and anybody that was in my way, and I instantly walked up to her. My name is Tatiana Anderson. Can we please take a picture? And I got a special surprise for y'all. Miss Mary Kay is here today. Give her a round of applause.
Thank you to my powerful home care sisters for that amazing introduction. Let's give it up for Deb and Linda and Vanessa. It is so awesome to be in front of the most powerful voice for healthcare workers in the United States, Canada, and Puerto Rico. Whether you are a hospital worker, a home care worker, a physician, a registered nurse, a lab tech, a respiratory therapist, or a nursing home worker, there is no group in the world that has done more to make healthcare work for working people than the leaders I have the privilege of looking at this morning. There is power in this room, the power that we learned that when we join together, we can make anything happen. Isn't that right, sisters and brothers? And I'd like to recognize the leaders in this division by showing you the leadership of the Healthcare Executive Committee. They are amongst you here today, and I think I'm joined by another national officer who's in this room, our Executive Vice President, Jerry Hudson, who comes out of the Healthcare Division. Okay. Okay. Whoa. And I'm joined by a vice president who's not listed on this, the Healthcare Division Director, Leslie Frayne, I think I was told is somewhere here. And you can see Neil Bisno, LaFonza Butler, Maria Castaneda, George Gresham, Keith Kelleher, Danielle Legault, Tony Lewis, Diane Palmer, Dave Pickus, David Reagan, David Rolfe, Monica Russo, Diane Sosney, Charlene Stewart, and Becky Williams. Now I want to take a look back at the road we've traveled before we look ahead to our next destination. Healthcare workers have always overcome every obstacle put in our way. We've always found new ways in this union to unite and grow stronger. In 1958, hospital workers in New York had no legal right to form a union. But fueled by the terrible working conditions, unlivable wages, and the call for equality that was fueling the civil rights movement, thousands of African American and Puerto Rican healthcare workers refused to be stopped. They went on strike at Montefiore Medical Center in the Bronx, and they were joined by workers at 7 more hospitals, and they went on strike in New York City for nearly 50 days, sisters and brothers. And after that 50 days, hospital management finally realized they had to meet the demands of the hospital workers in New York City. The law said that hospital workers couldn't form the union, and New York hospital workers did it anyway, paving the way for all hospital workers in New York and then nationally to have the right to have a union. And today, SEIU Healthcare represents more than 400,000 hospital workers in North America. And just as hospital workers said, yes, we can, when the law said, no, you can't, home care workers in Chicago and California did the same. Women like Deb and Linda and Vanessa, who just shared their stories with us, were told that taking care of seniors and people with disabilities wasn't a real job. They were taken for granted. It wasn't real work, therefore it shouldn't be paid real wages, that home care wasn't really meant to be a profession. It was not only a calling to serve, it was a calling to take a vow of poverty. And today, we have 500,000 home cares in SEIU who have said, we are going to be invisible no more. We are going to make this job the job. We are going to make this job the anchor of the 21st century healthcare system across North America, and we are going to make sure this work is valued once and for all. And in the 90s, a courageous group of women and men at Sunrise Hospital in Las Vegas risked it all, and took on the largest healthcare corporation in the country, the Hospital Corporation of America. It was one of my first organizing campaigns, and here's what I learned. HCA workers were unstoppable, and they would not be turned back. They paved the way for organizing rights agreement through the entire Hospital of a Corporation of America system. It was followed by a system-wide agreement with Catholic Healthcare West, which is now Dignity Healthcare in California and Nevada, then Tenet, and then Community Health Services. When no one thought that we could move beyond organizing one hospital at a time, these courageous workers, together with the leaders in this division, made the impossible possible and created system-wide agreements throughout the industry and organized tens of thousands of hospital workers to join our union. Yeah. Winning good wage increases, health insurance, and a way to advocate for ourselves and our patients. And we continue to grow, brothers and sisters. SEIU Healthcare has organized nearly 100,000 healthcare workers in home care, hospitals, and nursing homes have joined SEIU. Where are you? I think you've been calling yourselves out all morning because I saw the dance when I came in. Where are the home care workers from Minnesota and Pennsylvania that have joined us since 2012? Where are all the CHS hospital workers that have joined us in state after state around this country? Where are the brave hospital workers from Peace Health in Oregon? Where are all the nursing home workers who stood up to their boss, put a union button on, and won their union through NLRB elections? At the same time that we've been building a stronger union through organizing, we've been driving changes in how we deliver health care. For a health care system, not a sick care system. Stand up if you're taking the lead to transform the healthcare system inside your hospitals, nursing homes, or with your consumers in your home. Stand up. All those labor management committees on quality, the CMMI grants, stand up. All right. It's hard work, but you're making it happen every day. Thank you, everyone. And yet, sisters and brothers, despite all this amazing work that's happening across SEIU healthcare in North America, when we look around us, we are still battling some of the same conditions that spurred the women and men in New York City to go on strike even before it was legal. For home care workers in Chicago and Los Angeles to come together and persevere against impossible odds. Today, as we meet here in Detroit, 17 million healthcare workers have no voice and are invisible and have no way to gain a seat at the table. North Americans everywhere face escalating attacks, just like you heard from the sister from West Virginia that recently went right to work. Giant healthcare corporations like UPMC, Prime Healthcare, Providence Health are all boosting their bottom lines at the expense of creating good jobs and delivering high-quality patient care. Nursing home workers are working 20, 25, 30 years with no opportunities for higher wages or a secure retirement. We are working to change this in SEIU healthcare. People like Brennan Mills of Harrisburg, Pennsylvania are leading the way. Brennan worked at Golden Living Center for 30 years. And she was one of the leaders who fought for months to win a path for $15 for thousands of nursing home workers at 43 nursing homes across Pennsylvania. The demand for home care, you and I know, sisters and brothers, is exploding as 10,000 people a day turn 65. Families can't afford to get the care they need, and working people can't afford to provide it. The first step, as my sister Tatiana shared with us, is in strengthening and improving the home care in this country, and it's raising wages for home care workers, and that's why we're so proud the Home Care Fight for 15 leaders have joined us in this room. In America alone, healthcare represents $3 trillion of our domestic spending. At 40% of the workers in the healthcare system earn less than $15 an hour. These facts only strengthen our union's determination to make the impossible possible. Healthcare workers have always led the way in growing the power of working people in setting standards in hospitals and nursing homes and home care. And now, thanks to your work, since the passage of the Affordable Care Act, we are leading on quality and changing the way that we deliver health care in America. We need to continue to grow the way we know how to build the union, and at the same time, we want to throw the doors of our union open and welcome those 17 million healthcare workers in and make a breakthrough that unites millions more healthcare workers in SEIU. Are we ready to do that, sisters and brothers? We need to grow the strength of our voices, to grow our political power, to grow our ability to shape our workplaces so that every person in healthcare working to heal and comfort and to improve lives is better able to build a future for their family, their loved ones, and the communities we serve. The stakes have never been higher. Far too many people are not even earning a living, much less leading a life. And just as we reflected on these key moments in our past, we may not know exactly how we're going to get there, but we know that SEIU Healthcare has the power to decide that we can build the 21st century healthcare organization that unites those 17 million workers, and we must begin that journey here today. When fast food workers went on strike in New York City and started calling for 15 in a union, people thought they were crazy. And I heard my sister tell that story here for home care workers as well. We're out of our minds. What do we think we're doing? But these brave women and men who walked off the job, just like the brave women and men in Montefiore decades ago, started a national movement, and now working people have won 15 all across this North America. And just this week, consulate nursing home workers in Florida and Allegheny General Hospital workers in Pennsylvania have won a path to $15. Pretty impressive, SEIU Healthcare. And today we have to seize on the momentum that California and New York helped blow the doors open on making $15 possible, followed by Johns Hopkins and Swedish Medical Center and Boston Medical Center and nursing home workers in Connecticut and Pennsylvania. We have to seize this moment, brothers and sisters, and use our momentum to unite millions of healthcare workers. Imagine when we lead the call nationally for all healthcare workers across North America to earn $15 and to have the right to form a union so that we can not only raise our wages, but we can make these jobs good jobs that we can feed our families on and advocate for our patients and residents and consumers. We need to elect Secretary Clinton. She has committed with us to create a caregiver initiative and to help home care workers unite and to use Medicare and Medicaid to help healthcare workers unite all across this country. Imagine Secretary Clinton has sat with home care workers that were in this room and who told her the story of how incredibly valuable their work is and how much we need the next president of the United States to use her power to ensure that every home care worker gets to $15 and has a union, and she needs to make it happen. And we're going to hold her accountable once she's in the White House. Is that right? Imagine, sisters and brothers, if every healthcare provider that receives $1 of Medicaid or Medicare money had to provide working people with the right to join together in a strong voice. Imagine if 1 out of every 2 healthcare workers in our countries, both the US, Canada, and Puerto Rico, joined us. We could unite 9 million healthcare workers, representing the majority of the entire healthcare workforce. Imagine the power of healthcare workers to create good jobs, to improve healthcare delivery, and to transform our healthcare system once and for all. Sisters and brothers, we know there is no healthcare system without the head, heart, and hands of the people in this room. There are men and women who get up every day and are at a bedside or helping their consumer get bathed and dressed, or delivering meals to residents in nursing homes, or treating a child with asthma in the ER. Sisters and brothers, the people of the healthcare industry are the system of healthcare, and we are not going to let consumers and government officials forget that healthcare workers are the healthcare systems in our countries. There are millions and millions of working men and women who need to know this too, who need to know that together, when we join together, we make a plan, we commit resources, we have each other's backs. There is nothing that we can't accomplish together. And once we are together, nothing is impossible. We are going to make a decision at this convention, sisters and brothers, to create the most inclusive, most dynamic middle class that North America has ever seen. And as we do that, brothers and sisters, we can't make that happen unless this convention decides to commit this union to achieving the goal of racial justice once and for all in this country. We are going to unite the fight for 15 and the union with the fight for the Black Lives Matter movement, with the fight for the immigration justice movement. We are going to demand that we win on the shared goals of these movements. And once these movements unite, nothing is impossible. Sisters and brothers, SEIU Healthcare has made the impossible possible before. It is on us to blow the doors of this union open and to organize millions more healthcare workers. Are we going to make this happen, sisters and brothers? Are we unstoppable, sisters and brothers? What are we, sisters and brothers? We are unstoppable. We are unstoppable. We are unstoppable. We are unstoppable. See, thank you so much, sisters and brothers. I will see you in the streets as we transform our nation and our lives. Thank you very much.